Hello again to another video. We're watching today something different. I don't know if you're a fan of Game of Thrones. Well, I am. So anyway, I found this video and it says a dragon is hidden in Winterfell, secret revealed from Game of Thrones. I haven't made a note who actually posted, but all that information gonna be in the description box. So let's just start. Let's see what's going on in that. About that dragon.
One of the most mysterious places in all of Westeros are the crypts of Winterfell.
Three-eyed raven, okay.
A place full of secrets and legends, Stark family lore, and even possibly dragons. In today's video, we'll be talking about all the mysteries hidden in these crypts, and how Jon Snow might find his dragon in this place. And if you want to learn more about the Game of Thrones universe,
how are you supposed to find it if you're gonna be in the wall
to
still?
this channel. Welcome to the Three-Eyed Raven.
Wow, impressive.
The crypts of Winterfell are located in the depths of the home castle of House Stark. They are an iconic and enigmatic element in the novel series, A Song of Ice and Fire by George R.R. Martin. Throughout the saga, the crypts have witnessed key moments in the plot and have generated numerous theories from fans. In the Game of Thrones series, we see the crypts for the first time after King Robert asks Eddard to take him to see the tomb of the love of his life, Lyanna Stark.
Did you have to bury her in a place like this? She should be on a hill somewhere with the sun and the clouds above her.
This is where she belongs. She was my sister.
She belonged with me. In my dreams, I kill him every night.
Your Grace, it's done. Targaryens are gone.
Are they
Not all of them.
But the history of the crypts of Winterfell are much older and important, not just a simple place to deposit loved ones who have left existence. To truly understand the crypts of Winterfell, we must go back to its origins and the creation of this subway sanctuary. Thousands of years ago, when the Starks ruled as kings in the north, they decided to build a sacred place to honor their ancestors and ensure that their stories and legacies would endure through time. That is how the construction of the crypts began, with each Stark generation adding new tombs and secrets to its dark corridors.
That was Eric. Just came back from work.
The crypts we saw in the Game of Thrones series are only a small part of the actual crypts, as it is believed that dragons even inhabited this place at one point, but we will talk about this later. The construction of the crypts was a meticulous work, carried out by the best stonemasons and craftsmen of the time.
I don't know,
Every
like
detail in the statues and tombs was carved with precision and respect, so that the faces of the ancient Starks could observe their descendants and protect the secrets that lay at the heart of Winterfell. Funeral practices in the north are quite traditional. The person who loses his or her life is dressed in clean clothes. For members of the Stark family, they are usually dressed in the finest robes with direwolf symbols. A wake is then held where tribute is paid and a vigil is kept near the body. The body is then transported to the crypts of Winterfell and placed in its tomb, often accompanied by a stone statue representing the deceased. In the case of the kings in the north and the lords of Winterfell, an iron sword is placed on the statue's lap to keep vengeful spirits at bay. Placing a metal sword near the deceased person might make me think that this is a tradition inherited from the time of the First Long Night. They might have done this in case a person was resurrected and became a White Walker. There was a weapon nearby to finish him off, or perhaps in the hope that the Starks would be resurrected and need their sword. Perhaps in the earlier era, resurrections were more common than in the Game of Thrones era. After this, the Starks often visit the crypts to pay their respects to their ancestors. Undoubtedly, the most important moment in the crypts occurred during the hours before the Long Night. It was here that Jon Snow's true name was revealed, something that would change the history of Westeros forever.
After Rhaegar fell on the Trident, she had a son. Robert would have murdered the baby if he ever found out, so the last thing she did How she bled to death on her birthing bed was give the boy to her brother to raise as his bastard. My name, my real name, is Aegon Targaryen.
We should also add that possibly many ancestors of the Starks were resurrected during the Long Night, so it is possible that many of those they faced were skeletons of their ancestors turned into White Walkers. Now, there is a theory that proposes that dragons are found in the depths of the crypts of Winterfell. This theory stems from Mushroom, a dwarven historian from the time of the Dance of the Dragons. In the Book of Fire and Blood by George R.R. Martin, there are the testimonies of different historians. Among them, the most prominent is the dwarf Mushroom, a buffoon who told the most incredible stories of Westeros. The interesting thing about this character is that his most controversial claims turned out to be true, so Mushroom has become a reliable source of past events. Mushroom claims that when Prince Jacaerys Velaryon arrived at Winterfell, at the beginning of the Dance of the Dragons, Vermax laid dragon eggs in the depths of the crypts, where the hot springs are close to the walls. Which could mean that over time, the heat of the hot springs could hatch the dragon eggs. And now it's where this story gets really interesting. Both the House of the Dragon story and Snow's series could come together. Prince Jacaerys was sent by Rhaenyra to gain favor with the Northern House. It is here where it is speculated that his dragon laid several eggs. In the second season of the House of the Dragon, it could be shown how his dragon leaves eggs laid in the crypts. Something that didn't mean much to the stories of the House of the Dragon, but would completely change the future of Game of Thrones. It has been mentioned that the Jon Snow series takes place after the events of Game of Thrones, where Jon Snow is in the north depressed by what happened with Daenerys, and questioning himself his identity, if he is a Targaryen or a Stark. Ironically, Jon could find his own destiny as a Targaryen by seeking information about his Stark lineage. Let's suppose that Jon at some point decides to visit his mother's grave, and begins to walk through the crypts of Winterfell until he reaches an unexpected place. A place far from the crypts, but which hides some dragon eggs. Jon Snow then could help to bring this dragon to hatch, just as Daenerys did in the past. The idea of dragon eggs or even dragons existing in the crypts of Winterfell is not as absurd as we might think, and could certainly be something we see in the House of the Dragon or a Game of Thrones sequel. But tell me, what do you think of this theory? Would Jon Snow be able to find a dragon egg in the crypts of Winterfell? And if you liked this content, I invite you to become a member of this channel.
What do you think, guys? Will Jon find a dragon egg? Will he have his own dragon from Winterfell? It's very possible, but then we'll never know. We'll see. We shall see. I'm still waiting for the end of the last books, because I'm really hoping that the ending of the book's gonna be totally different than the ending of the show. But, well, yeah. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye!